9 section championships, 9 on the Bishop's side, and then 20 on the Cathedral Catholic side. So both teams were wearing white today. On the left side of the screen, Bishops with the maroon trim. On the right side is Cathedral Catholic with the red and gold trim, the red shoulders on the uniforms. And we have our first whistle and our first point awarded in the match. It will come right at the netting to Cathedral Catholic, and the Dons begin their title defense, state title number 4 for Cathedral Catholic. They start off with the first point of the match.
Had a violation at the net, a little bit of a confusing signal at first from our officials. I thought they were calling it Bishop's point as well, but the net violation was against the Knights. Coach Maddox up saying what exactly was the call here, and after 18 years he understands. He'll get a good explanation from our lead official.
And so here we go. Jennifer Clark, the junior setter, taking over with an ace. And Cathedral Catholic up 2-0. So Clark is one of the many players having to replace some great players on this roster for Cathedral Catholic. As mentioned, they lost 5 seniors, 5 starters. Gabrielle Isle, by the way, also transferred. Her family moved to Colorado, so there are many things missing, many pieces missing from that state title team a year ago. But Clark is going to have to replace Lauren Miller, who was on to Princeton to play the 4-year starter at center. Well,
and just to even say those 3 words, replace Lauren Miller, is an amazing task. The 4-year starter, of course, was the absolute cornerstone of the attack for so many years for Coach Drobeck, and she is now at Princeton.
And after an ace and an assist, that one goes long. The assist came on the Ivy Schmidt kill. So Schmidt's a big part of this, wearing number 8 there in the screen alongside Jennifer Clark. She returned as the 3rd leading kill artist from a year ago, and she's got to carry a lot of the load as one of the co-captains here in 2013.
Yeah, she'll definitely be one of the go-to hitters this year for the Dons.
That first big point, this one's going to sail long, and so Cathedral Catholic will lead it 4-1 over Bishops. Here as we get going early on, it will be Schmidt who does serve for the home team.
And watch, Ivy has a terrific serve. She was one of the real strong servers last year, 2nd on the team in aces last year, even with all that other talent.
Now she had 43 a year ago on the double team block. Look at Cathedral Catholic, the points. Nicole Anderson combining on the block with Madison Linksweiler.
Nice job of closing the block. Anderson got over there in fine shape, shoulder to shoulder. No seam between the block for the Knights.
Linksweiler, too, the other co-captain, coming back as one of the 2 returning starters. Lost 5 starters off a state title team. One of 2 returning starters this year. And a timeout's going to be called by Bishops. Another point goes awarded to Cathedral Catholic.
Well, and for Bishops, I think it's imperative that they get off to a decent start, build some confidence. They've lost the last 3 times they've played Cathedral Catholic. They beat them back in 2010, beat them in 5, and of course, obviously, the Dons had a very good team then. But as we look at Todd Maddox, 18 years as the head coach of Bishop, he knows how to make adjustments.
Well, we're here with you on the volleyball court, and coming up on Fridays, it's Football Fridays. You pick the game for Football Fridays on Time Warner Cable. That's right, you pick the game. We'll televise it. Head to SoCal101TV.com to make your choice and vote as much as you want at SoCal101TV.com. It's TWC Fans' Choice for Football Fridays. Vote now, SoCal101TV.com. So this is the 6-1 early lead for Cathedral Catholic. 4 unforced errors in the first 7 points for Bishops, and they trail by 5. It will be Ivy Schmidt who continues to serve. Good diving serve on that one. And a quick whistle. It's going to go against Cathedral.
First unforced error by the Dons. I think we're going to get double contact on that call, so it'll be point for the Knights, just what they needed after the timeout. Now maybe they'll settle down a little bit.
Good, strong move coming from the near side, and that is Lauren Woodard, the sophomore outside hitter. Their first point.
And Lauren did get some valuable experience last year as a freshman, even with all that senior talent, and she does have a powerful right arm, and that time nicely done, found the big gap in the back row.
We mentioned Lauren Miller, the four-year starter at setter who graduated. Tatiana Durr and Kristen Wittes, their two outsides, also graduated. Durr at North Carolina, Wittes at Cal Poly. And the point this time is going to come. It was too far to Bishops, but so much firepower had to be replaced. So up to Ivy Schmidt, for example, and Lauren Woodard, who assumed those outside positions for the Dons.
Exactly, and I expect that they'll get number 13 Madison Linksweiler, the middle, involved as well. Perhaps they'll use some one sets to get Maddie going. She contributed last year also, and to get any playing time at all with that much talent that Coach Strobeck had, you must be a fine player to play as an underclassman last year as well.
Yeah, especially with what they had in the senior class a year ago for Cathedral Catholic. Great work at the net for Bishops, and the block is there. Give them their 4th point.
Anna Sepkovic was there, and I think it was Raina Hale that helped out as well.
Combining for the double team block, the roof at the netting. Cathedral back on the attack. That one's going to be too strong. And another point for the Dons. They are doubling up the Knights early, 8-4 in our opening set.
But a pretty good reaction from the freshman libero, Lauren Fleming. She's taking the place of junior Kate Swanson, who will be out for a little while with a wrist. And when Kate comes back, she'll be the libero.
Great block at the net again. Cathedral getting up for the double team. Fine play, Samantha Magseth at the line, combining with Jennifer Clark.
They're taller, the Cathedral Catholic. They're bigger in the middle.
Up one-on-one again. It's Magseth, the senior. Back-to-back blocks.
She was one of the leaders last year in solo blocks, talking about Samantha Magseth, the 6'1" senior middle, and showing good elevation.
Back-to-back points off the block. Cathedral with a 10-4 advantage. They go right back to her, and Magseth's got 3 in a row.
Cathedral Catholic playing with a great deal of confidence. We're going to get a timeout as Bishops tries to figure out perhaps different attack angles, maybe shorter sets, something to get the timing of Cathedral Catholic's block off stride just a touch.
Well, and again, to continue that thought, Cathedral at 34-4 a year ago won their 20th section title, won their 4th state championship. But among those seniors that we mentioned, Tatiana Durr, Kristen Wittes, Lauren Miller, the players they lost, they even lost players to transfer. It's a very much rebuilt roster.
Well, anytime you lose 6, in essence 6 starters, right. The 5 that graduated, and you mentioned Gabrielle Isle, who moved out of state, it's team chemistry is going to be something that will only come with playing time. I mean, you have to learn those little subtle things that all those 3- and 4-year starters just knew where their teammates were going to be in critical moments, and that only comes through experience. And so a match like today, nice short serve, a match like today against a quality opponent like Bishops, that'll only help you learn that team chemistry.
Schmidt from the back row. That was Anderson who was on to serve, Nicole Anderson. That one goes just off the net, sneaks on over. Cathedral, another shot. That one down and too strong again. It's Lauren Woodard.
Woodard has been swinging very decisively here in the early going of the first. There you see the elevation. She likes to go cross court to that back corner. I thought a nice try by Fleming, but nobody came to her rescue after Lauren dug it out.
Nicole Anderson working on an ace, but they do return it back over. Slide and down for the point. So Magseth with a slide back to the right. That's her 4th point. That's 13-4.
But if I'm Lauren Fleming, I'd like my teammates to give me a little bit of help there. Once again, a nice pancake dig by Fleming, but nobody came to her rescue. Everyone was sort of thought the point was over. And right now, Bishop's just not moving their feet as well as they probably will later on. They've got to just loosen up. A couple of good things have to happen.
Another long hit. And again, this is so early in the season. These teams are in new divisions, new rosters, new lineups. And this is, in fact, the very first game of the season for Cathedral Catholic.
And there you see Bishop's, great short serve. That's the toughest one to pass. and they've been victimized a couple of times with that short serve.
And a great hit from Nicole Anderson. The short serve caps off a 9-0 run for Cathedral Catholic, 15-4 in our opening set. The ace for Anderson. She's coming right back behind the line.
You have to recognize that quickly. You know, the net's not a wall. You can look through it, and you've got to move your feet a little bit quicker.
And right into the block again. Woodard and Magseth combining on the block for Cathedral Catholic.
Right now, the Knights just having a tough time getting their hitters isolated. The double block has been in good form so far. Cathedral Catholic off and running. We got a substitution for the Knights, and I believe it's number 22, Jada Howard, the sophomore.
Coming back in, and that one will go down the line and good for Abby Burdix, the junior outside, who uses the entire court and nicely grabs a point back for Bishops.
Very good set that time. Long set, got Burdix one-on-one, and you should win a lot of those one-on-ones.
Ashley Pang on to serve, the junior at 5'8". Cathedral 1-2-3 in system. Woodard with another hit. Bishops able to return. And again, they will back set for Magseth, who slides on over and makes it count.
The 6'1" senior middle, indeed, a beautiful set that time by Clark. And Magseth going to be very tough with that slide and the ability to go cross court with no opposition.
Had the 2 solo blocks, and then now the 3 kills here late going. 5 points for Magseth. Has had a very fine opening set. This is Ivy.
Good get, though, by Forte.
And it results in a point. Cathedral went into the net, and the Knights are going to grab it. And you're right, all set up on the defensive side.
Terrific dig by Forte, the senior setter.
Abby Burdix going to go long on the serve. Another point for the Dons. Bishops just looking a little bit out of rhythm. Again, this is so early in the season. Now the Dons will send Marissa Sacco, the sophomore, back to serve. Another one of the new starters for the Dons. Another great diving effort behind the line on serve. Jennifer Clark setting things up. Bishops back on the attack, but they give away a free pass. Clark again. Quick set in the middle. That was for Linksweiler. And again, Clark there for the block. She's everywhere. The whistle finally blows, and the point comes for the Dons. Jennifer Clark, not the tallest of players, but boy, she was everywhere.
Oh, and what a terrific effort by Fleming once again to keep the play alive. A little bit of hitter coverage there, as you can see, after the block went right back over Greison's head. But then we had a center line violation against one of the Knights.
So Cathedral Catholic leading at 19-6. Ivy Schmitz. Clark again. Sacco and back to Schmitz. Twice right at the net. And how about Madison Linksweiler? The easy touch for the point.
Well, Hannah Ankeny did well to get to this, but Cathedral Catholic just recognized the overpass. Linksweiler saw it coming, got up there first, got up there taller, finished it off.
Couple of quick hits. They save it from being an ace and return it over. Clark not wasting any time and returns it for the 21st point.
First time we've seen the dump. Good decision. I'm a firm believer you've got to do that at least a couple of times a set just to keep the defense aware that it might be coming. Well chosen opportunity for Jennifer Clark.
Been very impressed with Clark early going, stepping into that setter role for Cathedral Catholic. Here is Schmidt, right at the net. And that point's going to go back to the Knights.
Nice play by Jada Howard. She realized that from that angle of the set, there wasn't a whole lot that Ivy Schmidt was going to be able to do with that, and Howard read it perfectly.
Now, the geometry of the angle there wasn't going to be in her favor.
Nicely done.
So back over come the Knights. Camille Stefanoff on to serve. This is Schmidt, much more to work with that time, and she'll grab the point.
Yeah, nobody got up to challenge. It was a better set, and Ivy, one of the really good hitters, finished it off. she's on her way because of her great all-around players. There's a good look at Kelly Drobeck, who was a great all-around player and still is. But Ivy's going to go to UCLA and play a little beach volleyball, although they like to call it in the NC2A, they like to call it sand volleyball.
Sand volleyball.
Because I guess there are no beaches in Nebraska. However,
fair enough.
Out here, it'll always be beach volleyball to us.
An ace for Jennifer Clark, who is having a great first set, her second ace of the match so far. And make it 3. So Jennifer Clark, a pair of aces in this particular rotation. 3 of a kind for the opening set, and this is set point for the Dons. Clark, the junior, fires away. Bishop's going to be able to return it and get the point.
Nice set for Gretchen Cash. I think that's the first time they've set for the junior middle. And she showed excellent location. There was a hole in that back corner, and Gretchen found it. Something to build on, perhaps, in the second and third. Set for the middles.
Set point number 2 coming. Bishop's able to stay alive for the moment. Back to Cash. That one down and good. So Gretchen Cash, the middle, with back-to-back points for the Knights. It's 24-9 in set point number 3.
She took some miles per hour off of that, but snapped her wrist and you could see that top spin as it took a dive right at the baseline for the point.
24-9. This is Rayanne Greisen, who continues on serve at a quiet first set. Going to Cal Poly next year. Cash right at the middle. Schmidt back and forth, and that'll do it. So Cathedral Catholic with a 25-9 win in dominating fashion to open up their season and their first official contest. They take the first set 25-9. Great all-around play for the Dons.
Well, Bishop got off to a slow start. I expect they'll play with more confidence in the second.
The second set is coming your way. The Dons, the defending state champions, already up 1-0. We're coming right back to Cathedral Catholic on Time Warner Cable.
I am beautiful in every single way.
Reaching out. Pass it on.
Bring me down.
You get to pick the game for Football Fridays here on Time Warner Cable. That's right, you pick the contest, we'll televise it. Head to SoCal101TV.com to make your choice. Vote as much as you want. It's the Time Warner Cable fans' choice for Football Fridays. Vote now on SoCal101TV.com. From Cathedral Catholic High School, this is how we look through set number 1. The Dons, the defending state champions, took it in fine fashion, 25-9 over the Bishop's Knights. Jack Cronin, Paul Westphal with you. Professor, no surprise looking at the stats.
No, a couple of dominant areas. I thought Cathedral Catholic served a lot tougher in addition to that 4-0 edge in aces. They just made it difficult for Bishops to get into system. And then a couple of unforced errors for the Knights got them off to that slow start. They dug way too big a hole in the first. I expect they'll play better because they found a couple of things late in the first.
Yeah.
One of them being Gretchen Cash.